The close of another unseasonably warm and beautiful day here in Puget Sound area of Washington State. The sound of birds still hangs in the air before it gets dark. Welcome to Snohomish. And that sound of birds is going to surrender to a vehicle, a car, and a motorcycle here in just a second. Got out here a little later than I'd hoped to today, but better than not at all. Hope you're all having a great day. Hi there, Kit. I almost didn't come out because it started getting kind of late. Sure enough, I missed sunset. But I wanted to get out here and get some fresh air. If I had more time, I was going to go to the river. But getting out a little bit is better than not getting out at all. Hi there, Doreen. I hope you had a wonderful day. It is peaceful. Kit, I finally took a look at my pictures this afternoon that I took here last night and shared some on Twitter so far. And I did get that bald eagle just as it sprung from the limb where it was perched on this tree over here. From that tree right there. But I didn't use the closest picture. Instead, I showed a picture where the sun was still up just over here, and it was really dominating the image with a distant silhouette of the bald eagle. So that turned out kind of nice. In terms of a mood and colors. Yeah. Oh, check out the flags on this truck. Hey, Thomas. Tom, did you get out for a hike today? You were lazy? You and I both. Oops, sorry, I am on a gimbal tonight as opposed to last night on a tripod. Some people here in Washington State got some nice images of the Northern Lights last night. Randy Small up in Whatcom County got a really nice image, and there was a photographer who got to a lighthouse. Tom says super busy day at work, so went home and took a nap. Right on, Tom. Well deserved. I was, if you were on social media today and you did some scrolling, you may have seen some, especially if you checked out the hashtag Northern Lights or Aurora Borealis. There are some fantastic images from Canada of last night's Northern Lights. Right on, Kit. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take advantage of the tripod on this. Reminds you of Sam McGee. I don't know who Sam McGee is. This is likely to be my last live broadcast using this phone as my primary phone anyway. New phone came in the mail this evening, so I will be leaving the iPhone 7 Plus for a newer model. I got to see if Tom's going to let me know who Sam McGee is. I have a feeling I'll be getting a link on Twitter. Doreen asks, which phone did I get? Well, I didn't hold back, Doreen. I got the iPhone 12 Pro Max. I'm going to keep the 7 Plus as a second camera for when I stream with an app that lets me switch between iOS devices. Robert Service poem, Cremation of Sam McGee. Okay, Tom. And Doreen says, oh, that's Sam McGee. Well, I've got to visit that poem and jar of memory. Apparently it's common knowledge and Mark's not coming through with it. Thanks, Doreen. So, in the last few months, I've ran into the inevitable iPhone issue that comes over time with the battery going quickly, and most annoyingly, the charging port failing to have a good connection. I imagine that's something you can get fixed, but between that and memory issues that it's suddenly experiencing, where apps don't play nicely and shut down, I just figured I better break down and get to that phone that I really want. It mentions the Northern Lights. Okay, thank you, Tom. If you get a chance, and for example, like I know on Twitter today, I looked at the hashtag for Northern Lights, and from Canada in particular, there were some really beautiful shots, photos of last night's Northern Lights. Anybody know if we're supposed to see any northern lights tonight, or if there's a good chance of it? I know it has to do with sun activity, sunspots, right? It's either sunspots or I forget the word for the large flames activity. I feel like one of these days I'm going to see down below here, maybe UFOs, Tom says. One of these days I've got to see coyotes marching across this area because they're out there in those woods. Coronal mass ejection. Wow, thank you, Doreen. There you go. That describes what I'm visualizing beautifully. Doreen for the win. Applause from Tom. Boy, you guys are tossing knowledge around here between poetry and science. This is not just any group that comes together on these live streams. Doreen says she's always wanted to see the Northern Lights. Well, Doreen, let's see here. I think you're in Linwood, right? I hadn't seen them almost all my life until a few years ago. And the first time I saw them, I didn't really recognize that I was seeing them until I looked through my camera because it was in this area. It was up at Glacier Peak High School overlooking the valley here, looking to the north. And there were spectacular northern lights. It was a cloudless sky like this, except to the naked eye, it looked like there were these interesting, if you were paying attention, morphing clouds, kind of over the city of Everett and into the east as you look north. And I got some great pictures from Glacier Peak High School, although my focus, if it was sharper, it would have made it even greater. And then from Camano Island, I've seen the Northern Lights since that time too. So it's all been within the last 4 years or so. There were skydivers. Thank you for asking, Tom. I was considering mentioning that. The last round was as I was driving down here because I got a late start. Tom, you asked me yesterday about my plans for the weekend. I got two things done. I got the new tires on a vehicle, went to Kirkland and got that done. And then I went to the transfer station where I got rid of some two large pieces of outdoor wicker furniture that has been severely weathered over the years, as well as some trash. So that was semi-productive. But what I'm really excited about with the new phone, and the reason I got the Pro Max, is because of the cameras, especially for low light. Now, I don't know that I can use the preferred low light setting while I'm streaming, but I'm sure it'll do better just with its default cameras than the iPhone 7 Plus in low light. So I'm looking forward to learning about that. Last year during Comet Neowise, my friend Christian Sasa, he got some excellent photos of Comet Neowise with his iPhone 11. So I'm confident I'm going to get a better result than what I've been seeing with this old phone, which has served me well. For those who don't know, because I know some of you do, this is actually my second 7 Plus. The first one got damaged after I used it to shoot video of pink salmon in the Pilchuck River underwater. And I was so forthcoming and honest with my story, it apparently made an impression on the folks at the Apple Store, and they replaced it for free. There's more to the story. It wasn't very deep water, but I think the water basically got pushed into the current pushed the water into the phone, given the angle that I had it in the water. I had done a test the previous week. Everything was fine in that same river. I've had some mishaps, haven't I? For example, right where I'm parked, when I use multiple cameras, I have iOS devices to stream. Sometimes I set an iPad on my rooftop here of the vehicle. Well, with a brand new iPad, I drove off in the dark, and somewhere down there, I didn't get too far, but somewhere down there, before the road disappears and dips below, I heard a tumble behind me on the road. I realized, oh my gosh, the iPad. Oh, we got a raptor. I believe that's a raptor. It just landed in the tree. Hang on. Might be a hawk this time. This is where we had a bald eagle last night. Whoops. Come on. Here we go. Tom has just, I saw the mention, Tom. Thank you for sharing. We've got, that might be an eagle. What do you guys think? Definitely not an eagle, Doreen says. Okay. When it was flying, when I said, oh, we got a raptor, I thought that looks like a hawk rather than an eagle. Doreen saying definitely not an eagle. Okay. But that's roughly, I mean, that's the same general area of the tree where we did see what I believe was an eagle last night. See if I can get a little tighter on it. Doreen says head to body ratio. See, we've got it all covered. Oh, there it goes. See it way out there? Just above the treetops, left of center? There it goes. Oh, that's good to know, Tom. Thanks. Hey, Zach. Nice to have you here, Zach. As always, my friend. Oh, you know what? Here's this bird right here. Let's see if I can zoom in on it. Oh, it just flew off. It was in this bush. Zach, we've been enjoying a nice string of days with clear skies, and yesterday it got into the 70s, and in Seattle, I think it hit 80 degrees today. Of course, Fahrenheit here in the US, but unseasonably warm. And it's been a nice change of pace, that's for sure. M's are losing 1-0. Thank you, Tom. That's fine if they're playing the Red Sox. Doreen, so now I know you're a Red Sox fan. Once upon a time, I had a Red Sox pennant, not with autographs, but it was a special pennant. I think it was maybe the 1957 season. Anyway, it had the names of all the players on it. It was some sort of a championship pennant or something. That was years ago, and I sold it on eBay finally. You grew up an hour from Boston. It's genetic out there. Yeah, I hear that, Doreen. Well, you had the great fortune to enjoy a lot of great sports, winning of your local teams growing up out there. Tom's dad is from Arlington, Massachusetts. Oh, okay. Well, Doreen and Tom, talk amongst yourselves. You guys have shared ground in your history. You know, someone pointed out last night it was kind of cool with the reflection on the car window. Let's try that again. There we go. It's kind of like having a two-way mirror. You can see what's going on this way, and you can see what's going on out there. Doreen says, "Nice, Tom. Mayflower." Oh, looky there. Connections abound. So we've got multiple views now. We got that reflection, and we got this bald guy in the middle, and then this view on the outside. Let me show you. You like it, huh? We'll come back to it in a minute, Tom. Should be my profile pic. You know what? That's a good idea. We'll do it again in a minute, Tom. You can grab you guys can grab a screenshot and send it to me if you'd like. But it's not uncommon in the twilight, evening twilight, to hear coyotes in this band of woods over here. So I half expect sometime to see them out here. We have deer in the area too, but I've not seen them out there. I think I mentioned a few months ago that the Baileys, who have a farm here on both sides of the road, including some property back behind that house. Mrs. Bailey was telling me that one of the younger generations is going to build a home out here on this side of the road down below here. So that'll be interesting to see. I'll miss it because we're coming up to the time of year where we usually have the cows out here, and it's always nice to see them here. And I just like open space, even when it belongs to someone else and I can't go there. Okay, you can grab me a screenshot here if I can get this framed up. Come on, Horner. And then I just have to look at the lens. There we go. So here we go. Profile pic in the making. Although with the circle, I don't know if this works. Maybe I need to center it a little bit more. There we go. So Tom or Doreen, if you're able to, feel free to snap a screenshot. You can kindly send it to me. I'll see if I can make it work. Although I don't know, I got the Dan Haggerty, light ghost of Dan Haggerty here, unshaven and gray. So Tom says his namesake was part of a group that discovered Plymouth Rock. Wow. And I know Doreen mentioned, I think it was the Rogers family. Yes, the Rogers line. My mom used to say, it has nothing to do at first blush with what you're talking about, but when we talk about our lines, my mom used to say that my eighth great grandfather was Isaac Watts, and Isaac Watts wrote Joy to the World. Not the version about the bullfrog, the older classic version. Hey, here's a sneak peek. I don't know if it's true though, Tom. The tree and the shirt. I'll try and show you that tree out in the field, but it's kind of dark to see it right now. Not available just yet, Tom. I've had some thoughts on that. Just a second, I'll explain. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let's go back. Yeah, it's dark, but you can see there. Hopefully, you can make out the tree there. Well, a couple of thoughts, Tom. Number one, I think I could get an even better, more comfortable T-shirt. This one's not uncomfortable, but I think there are better T-shirts out there in terms of quality. This is tough, but it's not very soft. I went on Fiverr and had somebody make the logo for me based on my input, and I'm also thinking about changing the logo. So those are, but this would still be the classic, right? We might be able to work something out, Tom. I would love for you to have one. Now we're getting late here, but it's so nice to see. You know, if we look to the east, northeast here, got blue. You like the black and gray or white? Okay, all right, Tom and Doreen both. I will keep you posted. I'll see what I can do. I'd love to work with you on that. So blue here, we got the pinks coming in. What's really cool about this time of year going into the heart of summer coming up in the next few months is like the sunset over here tonight. But when we get into the heart of June, it's going to be over here, actually even further north. And we'll see this glow even more pronounced and much deeper into the evening. Here we are at 8:30 right now. We'll see it at it's past 10 o'clock at night. No, it doesn't. And that's a really good point, Tom. That's a great point. What do you think I should have there? markhornerphotography.com or beyond90seconds.com? Beyond 90 Seconds, I used to post on that fervently for years, but It's been years now since I've done so. So the content's kind of outdated. I mean, there are still good stories there. Um, but I am going to be doing some revamping on that site because one of the things I'm going to be doing is offering consultation services. And I'm going to have a tab on there. So if people want to pick my brain, so to speak, about, it could be a variety of things really, where I have some professional background, I'd be happy to do some consulting. Hey, Cosmic Rose. Very nice to see you. And you caught me live, right on. Thanks, Tom. Beyond 90 seconds is what attracted you to my videos. Thank you, Doreen. That's great feedback. I appreciate knowing that. For those who don't know, the Beyond 90 Seconds is a very specifically and purposefully chosen username. I worked in television news for 20 years on air, and over the years, it got to the point where your total, we used to call it total tape time or total run time for a story when you were a reporter was a minute 10, which is 70 seconds, right? And almost always you were live, so you would be live in the beginning, then your tape would play with your pre-edited story, and then you would pop out on the back end. You know how it goes. You guys have watched news. And the reporter appears live again and starts talking again. And so you get basically 10 seconds on the front end and 10 seconds in the tag on the back end. So 70 plus 20, 90 seconds. And I always like to go deeper with a story. Thank you, Doreen. I appreciate that. Thank you, Cosmic Rose. You know, I was thinking, speaking of bald eagles, we were talking about raptors earlier, and we saw what I believe was a bald eagle in the tree here yesterday. Back in about 2012, I want to say, I did some of that in-depth reporting for YouTube and my blog outside of Granite Falls, where several bald eagles were shot to death, and that case was never solved. And I did two primary stories on that, and I interviewed an investigator with the state as well as locals, and I interviewed the president of the Stillaguamish tribe, and I enjoyed doing that very much. It takes a bit of time. Um, it didn't get the eyeballs on it that I'd hoped for, but I love doing the process because I still enjoy doing news. I just don't do very much of it these days. But I'm going to have very likely an outlet with the podcast. That's something that is brewing, and I'm working with someone on a pitch, and we've almost got our what's called our pitch deck finalized, and we've got we've got the attention of a few big podcast distributors. So we'll see if that comes together, and that would be really exciting. And the neat thing about it is my partner, who's pretty well known writer, and I don't want to give it away just yet, but um, he wants me to narrate it as well as tell the story, to produce it and whatnot. And I would really enjoy doing that. Still waiting on that podcast, Tom. I good things come to those who wait, right? I've put most recently a week ago, I put an all-nighter doing the finishing touches on my end of the work for the pitch, which was basically the way we laid it out was a 12 episode series for season one, because we may do multiple series, multiple seasons, I should say. So episode by episode. And I did an all nighter, literally. And then that same day, I had to go to Kirkland and buy a car. I don't recommend going car shopping on no sleep, but I did it. And I know you can hear that distant vehicle across the farm fields on Highway 9, way out there. All right, since we're on the gimbal tonight, Tom says he needs a new truck. What would you get, Tom? Since we're on the gimbal tonight, we'll venture to show the moon. Easier than on that tripod setup last night. Can't wait to see how the new phone handles this. Ah, very good. What do you have? Is it a Tacoma or a Tundra? I think you still have it. And how many miles do you have on it? Toyotas are awesome. Around 154,000 miles. Well, heck, Tom, that Toyota probably has another couple 100,000 miles in it, don't you think? Bought and paid for. If it's in good shape, I'd keep driving it. But that's just me. I had to break down and get a different vehicle because the one that I'm leaning against right now, which has 220,000 miles on it, it's got coolant getting into the engine, so it's either a head gasket or somehow it's getting through the cylinders. So actually, I think I told you last night I'm going to replace the engine on it. I'm going to keep it. I want to see how this other camera does in the low light. Most definitely just doesn't look great. Messed it up a few years ago, hitting a deer. Oh, sorry to hear that. Hey, yeah, you can still see me. That's because I'm facing the west and we're just grabbing just enough light there. Let's see, can you see? And you still get the windshield effect. Or not windshield, the window effect. Let's see if I can get the moon in the shot. And I can't quite catch the reflection of the moon, but we can get that house. If you're just tuning in, you're thinking, what the heck is this guy doing? I can see the moon. I was trying to get that in the reflection as well. Fun with reflections. Let's flip it around. Tom, thank you so much for watching. And I'm looking forward to checking out your pics here in just a couple minutes. And we'll go ahead and wrap it up as daylight says goodbye as well. Have a wonderful evening or day wherever you might be. Doreen, Tom, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. And Cosmic Rose, good night, everybody. Stay safe out there.